This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
Welcome, everybody. And once again, my name is Adam Homey, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with author, speaker, and disruptive hypnotic sales trainer, Paul Ross. And let me just tell you about him briefly. He'll share more in just a second. Paul Ross is on a passionate mission to present the latest cutting-edge breakthrough insights, techniques, and tools to assist professional salespeople and entrepreneurs to leapfrog over the pack and skyrocket their results. He's an author, speaker, master hypnotist, and master trainer of NLP, and you can discover more about him at www.speakerpaulross.com. In the meantime, Paul, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here today.
Great, and I'd start out by offending some of your, there you go, defund the media.
Well, here in podcasting, we're all about the new media and helping more people find voices. So to me, the way I look at what we do here as podcasters, and you and I are both podcasters, is that we help entrepreneurs, we help the creatives, we help those with something to say, find their voice and articulate their voice. With me, it's about a platform. With you, it's about language. So let's dive into that element just a little bit further and tell us a bit about how the work that you do makes the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large.
Well, my discovery, Adam, is that language can either freeze a person's world or free it. It can turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones and pain into passion. So when we learn to use language, we sell better and enjoy it. Here comes one of my supervisors.
Yep.
We sell more, we can create change in other people, and we can create healing. So I think it's a way, especially when we use subconscious communication, to communicate with the subconscious, because that's where all our most important decisions are made.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I mentioned briefly earlier that you have a book, that you're a public speaker and what have you. But if you could tell us in your own words what it is that you do and what it is you provide.
Sure. So I take professional salespeople and entrepreneurs who are really tired of the off-the-shelf stuff, the stuff that all the courses that they've already done, all the trainings they've already taken. And I show them a way to disconnect the dots, color outside the lines, and have a breakthrough paradigm, a completely different way of looking at sales so they can skyrocket the results without using the old stale stuff on the back of my book. If I could, it's very brief. Are you tired of the same worn out sales scripts, assumed closes, tag questions, and other stale nonsense that just doesn't work, insults your prospect's intelligence, and makes you feel like a schmuck? So that really is my mission, to get people past all of that, because it's the old ways of thinking and looking at sales that just have you stuck or only making incremental improvements. I lead my clients to make vast improvements, to make exponential, not incremental, but exponential. And you can't go from incremental to exponential by doing the same traditional stuff. You've got to be a disruptor.
Absolutely. In your experience, Paul, what are three of the most common questions, or a few of the most common questions people in general have when they're asking you about what you do? Like, let's say the FAQs.
Well, they ask me, does it require me to manipulate my clients? I say, absolutely. Manipulation is necessary. But by manipulation, I don't mean what you mean. Should I give that answer or just go on to the three questions?
Yeah, for now, just share the questions with us.
All right. That's number one. Number two, is this possible for me to really make it work? And the final thing they ask is, what's your fee?
Well, those are, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, with our podcast reach system, we share our fees because I personally feel that, you know, if you're going to have the conversation anyway, you might as well know the playing field before going in. I'll have a conversation with somebody who may not be ready to financially afford it right now. But the nature of that conversation is I'll take 10 or 15 minutes with somebody and show them how they can raise the capital, how they can leverage more effectively and monetize what they're doing right now to create the revenues they need. And to me, that's all about creating more success stories. So let's pivot here ever so slightly. We shared some of your FAQs, your frequently asked questions. Now, tell me a few questions you wish prospective clients and customers would ask when they're going through their process of considering working with you.
Sure. So question number one I'd like them to ask is, what's in the gap between where they want to go, where they are, and where they want to go? Let me, this camera's kind of reversed. So what's in that gap? That's number one. That's the number one question. What do they see is what's in the gap in terms of their skill set and their mindset? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Number two, I want them to ask what's going to happen if they don't invest in something new and something different. And number three, I'd like them to ask, if you could fulfill all your dreams, if you woke up tomorrow and all of your dreams and everything was running the way you wanted to as far as your business, how would that matter to you? How would that matter to the people around, immediately around you who you love? And how would that matter to the world at large? Because that's something that gets them to tune in, not just to their vision, but to their values.
Great. That's fantastic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to shift gears here, and we're going to have a little bit of fun in the remainder of our time together. So first
this is all fun.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where we get to explore a little bit more about Paul Ross as an individual. So first of all, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
That, the people who know me, I'm pretty much an open book. The people who know me would be surprised to learn how much of a super genius I am beyond what they already know. And how humble I am.
Yes. I love it, especially the humility. What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
He's the best teacher I've ever encountered in my life.
If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done, one thing you've experienced, one thing that's happened, what would it be and why?
One thing I've done?
Well, it could be various things. It could be something you've done, something you've experienced, something that's happened. If you could go back in time and change it, what would it be and why?
Not to have dated that woman from Denmark.
Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, there's no need to go into it, but as I've been saying for years, I believe we've all encountered a few people along the way that aren't exactly going to make it into our autobiographies. And I just think that's part of the human condition. Yeah. And it's also my belief that when you have experiences, if we want to just pivot into dating just for a second, not all relationships work out. But in my experience, and you and I have discussed this offline, is you can burn or you could learn. And I choose to learn. And as I continue to go through and I continue to experience more relationships of my own, I see how some of the things that happened previously, when I choose to view them that way, were actually preparation that moved me along my trajectory toward greater success and fulfillment in what I'm looking for.
Good on you. I think you're right on the right path.
Exactly. Now, what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity, what question would you have for them?
Well, I think that would be Jesus. And I would ask, hey, what's with the stuff of withering that fig tree? Figs are yummy.
Yeah. All right. And you know, what's interesting is if I were to do a spreadsheet of the person that or entity that people identified as who they'd like to meet, I believe Jesus actually comes out number one with a bullet. If I were to take an analysis of nearly 100 people that have been on this show and do the famous person question.
I don't know. I think you'd have to go through his 12 agents.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
I love what I do. I'm madly, passionately in love with what I do. People ask, how did you get started? I go, yeah. I like to question why and what keeps you passionate after 30 years of doing it. And I'm just in love with it. I'm in love with seeing people get the results, of being able to see the results of my work. Makes me happier than anything else.
That's really profound. I love that. And finally, and I know you have a special offer and a special gift for our listeners for tuning in today. And I will share that with them in just 1 second. But generally speaking, what is one action that you would encourage our listeners to take as soon as they finish streaming this episode?
Wow. I can only say, claim your copy of my Invincible Influence series and learn about the mindset for success, learn about how language influences the subconscious mind, learn about how to destroy objections, some of the actual actionable things you'll get, very, very small little reports, but you'll be able to take one tip a day and go out and see results immediately.
Yep. And the way to get those, and for those of you who are watching the video version of this, you'll see it on your screen. I'll read it out loud for everybody who's out walking and jogging. Text the word compel. That's COMPEL, compel, to 411321. That's 411321. Text compel to 411321, and you will receive this 5-part Invincible Influence series. And I've seen it myself, and I can verify and testify that it's really, really good. And I also encourage you to visit Paul's website. Go to www.speakerpaulross.com, where you'll discover more about how he can serve you as you move toward your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. And with that, Paul Ross, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.